I met Johnny several years ago in my social work career. This is his story.
Please try and understand what I am about to explain to you. Please take out the time. I have no one else to help me. I come from a very poor family. I don't know who my father is and my mother's getting welfare. Please believe that I didn't do this, neither did I have anything to do with it. I'm truly afraid to die, and Louisiana Penitentiary is a very dangerous place for a 16-year-old to spend the rest of his life. Please help me. I'll wait to hear from you soon.
I was born in southern Louisiana in 1958, where I lived my entire childhood. I loved to read and write, and I graduated from the 8th grade with all the intentions of going on to high school and then to college. But my entire life changed the summer after I turned 15. It was 4 a.m. on July 25th, 1974, when the officers showed up at my mama's house in New Orleans. They said that I had been named as a suspect in a crime, that I was to be taken into custody for questioning. I knew I hadn't done any wrong, so I went with them willingly, and my mama stayed at the house with my brother. I was charged and booked as soon as we arrived at the station. It was a small room, just me and the 2 officers. They beat and bruised me for nearly 2 hours until I confessed to raping a white woman a week earlier. I didn't do it, but they wouldn't listen. And they were much stronger than me. I didn't stand a chance. When I finally signed the confession, all the pages said, "No statement." I was 16 during my trial, but they charged me as an adult. My attorney only came to see me one time before I was brought to court, and he didn't do anything to help me defend myself to the jury. I had people that could vouch for me, people that were with me the night of the crime, doctors who saw my bruises in jail. But he didn't use them. The punishment for rape in Louisiana back then was the death penalty, specifically by the electric chair. And you know what was ironic? At 16 years old, because of my age, I wouldn't even be allowed to attend an execution. Yet, there I was, sentenced to die.
In the 40 years between the 1930s and 70s, 455 men in the U.S. were executed for rape cases. 405 of those men were black, and all but 2 were executed in the South. This drastic difference in demographics is clear, with 0 evidence to support a narrative that black men are most likely to commit rape.
I sat on death row for 6 years in that small cell. I aged from a teenager into adulthood. Sometimes it was 4 of us to a cell with only 1 bed. Other times, it was just me. The longer I sat there, the more scared I got. I wrote to the people at the Southern Poverty Law Center, and they were the first to really listen and believe me.
The Southern Poverty Law Center continued to build Johnny's defense, utilizing the newly developed study of DNA forensic science to their advantage, and were finally able to compare blood samples from the crime with Johnny's. They did not match.
December 15, 1981. They dropped all my charges and set me free. I was a different person then, so much different than the summer I went in. So young, no idea what the world had in store for me.
Today, nearly 2,600 people sit on death row in America. Since 1973, only 172 have been exonerated. Most were not a reflection of true justice being served, but rather the result of newly developed scientific techniques and volunteer attorneys. Such was the case for Johnny Ross.
That place, Angola, was filled with nothing but pain. No hope there. No light. I never wanted to go back. Never to a place like that. Just imagine your worst nightmare. I lived that nightmare. I'm still trying to forget.
Johnny's case stands as an example of the dangers of racial profiling and our system's prioritization of convictions and closed cases over seeking true justice. As seen many times throughout our country's history, the injustice served by our criminal justice system has been pervasive, especially when it comes to the presumption of guilt when a black man is accused of a crime. How is a young man, robbed of what were supposed to be his most transformative years, supposed to reintegrate into society after being forced to remain so long in a cage? When I think of Johnny, I think of his laugh, his bright smile and infectious personality. You would never know the pain he experienced if you just met him on the street. I remember the first time we met, he had just rescued a cat from the streets. He didn't have much money to spare, but still took in an animal that needed a home. That memory is still vivid for me today. How many more Johnnies are out there whose stories won't be heard? And how many more will come? It's a great loss to society when innocence, potential, and humanity are destroyed. I can't help but wonder now. How much are we willing to lose?
Did you ever notice? The feds build a case. Sometimes it takes years. Then they make an arrest. The state, on the other hand, makes an arrest. Then they start to build a case. You see that? That's what they did to me.